Good morning, students. In last class, we completed already how we have prepared haloalkanes by using different methods. We already completed. So even I given some worksheets. You can work on that. Now, today class we are going to discuss. This chapter name is haloalkanes and haloarenes. In last class we completed preparation of haloalkanes. Now today class we are going to discuss how we have prepared the haloarenes. Preparation of haloarenes. That is the main thing. Okay, please mute audio and video. And preparation of haloarenes. For that, first method is direct halogenation. Direct halogenation of aromatic ring. This is the first method for the preparation of haloarenes. Means we have some aromatic rings, right? So benzene is one of the aromatic ring. Toluene is one of the aromatic ring. Okay. So take that benzene and toluene, or benzene or toluene you can take. To that you can do the direct halogenation. Okay. How we are going to discuss now. So this is the aromatic ring, benzene. There is a presence of what hydrogens here. 6 hydrogens are present here. So benzene. This can direct halogenation. Means you take halogens, like you can take Cl2, chlorine is our halogen. This react in the presence of some of the Lewis acids. In the last class only we discussed what is the Lewis acids. The best Lewis acids are FeCl3 or FeBr3, or in the presence of even AlCl3 also. Okay, you can take either FeCl3 or you can take FeBr3 or you can take even AlCl3, anhydrous AlCl3. This is all we can call as the Lewis acids. Aromatic ring can react with chlorine in the presence of FeCl3 or FeBr3 or AlCl3 in the around 313 Kelvin temperature to 320 Kelvin temperature. Around this temperature there is a halogen electrophile is generated here. Suppose here I am taking the Cl2. There is a chloride electrophile is generated here. Chloride Cl plus electrophile is generated. That Cl plus electrophile go and replace this hydrogen and attack directly to aromatic ring. Okay. So then the Cl electrophile is going to attack on benzene ring, and there is a formation of one of the byproduct that is called as HCl. This I can call as chlorobenzene. This is the direct halogenation of aromatic ring. This is also called as electrophilic substitution. Here electrophile is generated is Cl plus. The electrophile is generated here is Cl plus. Okay, this mechanism we already completed in first PUC, that is called as aromatic hydrocarbons. Go through that, you will get the 3 steps mechanism. First one is generation of electrophile. The second step is attack of electrophile. The third step is removal of proton. Okay, so it's a very important. You can learn in first PUC topics, that is aromatic hydrocarbons. Okay. So this is the direct halogenation. Instead of this, you can also take Br2. It's called as bromine. Same condition. Then you will get the bromobenzene. Then you get the product is bromobenzene plus HCl. Bromobenzene. Here is electrophile generated is Br plus. The electrophile generated here is Br plus. The electrophile generated here is Cl plus. The electrophile generated here is Br plus. Okay. So this is a one method, and in this method only we have another one. Suppose if I take, instead of benzene, I take chlorobenzene now. Suppose I take chlorobenzene for this chlorobenzene I can add some amount of again chlorine. Okay, here I can take chlorobenzene. Previously I take benzene only, but now I am taking chlorobenzene. Is react with excess of chlorine. In the presence of same like FeCl3. FeCl3 around 313 Kelvin temperature. 313 Kelvin temperature. Then there is another Cl plus electrophile is generated. It's going to attack either ortho or para position. Okay, then we are getting already one Cl is present on benzene. Then what electrophile is generated by reacting of Cl2 and FeCl3 is the initial step. I didn't go the mechanism. You learn in first PUC. Okay, Cl2 can react with FeCl3. Can react with FeCl3. Both can react. There is a generation of electrophile. Once electrophile is generated, there is attacking of that electrophile. Okay, so here already Cl is there. Now, after reacting these two, there is a generating of electrophile. No, that electrophile where is going to attack. It go and attack either ortho position. This is called as ortho position. Or even is go and attack para position. There is a possibility to attack para position. Then what is the name of this? This is called as ortho dichlorobenzene. Ortho dichlorobenzene. This is called as it's a para dichlorobenzene. Para dichlorobenzene this is. So why, if you take the Cl here, suppose if only benzene if you take, there is only single product that is called as chlorobenzene. Suppose if you take the chlorobenzene, there is two products which come in that. Ortho-dichlorobenzene is a minor product. Para-dichlorobenzene is a what? Major product. Why we are getting here two products? Because this chlorine is a OP directing groups. Is nothing but ortho comma para directing groups. This here is direct the incoming electrophile. After reacting these two Cl2 and FeCl3, there is electrophile is generated that is called as Cl+. That Cl plus is going to attack either ortho position or not either, is attack ortho position and also attack para position. Major is attack at para position. Why major is attack at para position? Because the Cl plus is a OP directing groups. Is a OP directing group. OP directing group. Okay. The Cl plus is a OP directing group, that's why the Cl is a OP directing group, that's why the Cl plus go and attack either ortho position or para position. This is a very important. In that you can also take, if you take the bromobenzene, plus Br2, same cases, if you take the FeBr3, here also will get same products. Okay, so ortho dibromobenzene and para-dibromobenzene. Among that ortho para-dibromobenzene, we will get para-dibromobenzene is our major product. This is another application. There is another application for this method only. See, if you take the characteristics FeCl3 and 313 Kelvin, okay. So then I go into the another application. That is, if you take kaolin, this is the CH3. If you take kaolin, this is the kaolin. Okay, if you take the kaolin, can react with the same like Cl2 in the presence of what FeCl3. FeCl3 is around 313 Kelvin temperature to 320 Kelvin temperature. If you take this one, there is a generating of Cl plus, right? Here also generating of Cl plus after reacting these two. First step is once reacting these two, there is a generation of what Cl plus electrophile. Okay. That Cl plus electrophile where is going to attack? It is going to attack again ortho and para, ortho or para positions. Why it is going to attack ortho and para position? Again, what the CH3 is there on benzene? On benzene there is a presence of CH3. That CH3 is also OP directing groups. What is meaning of OP directing groups? That group is direct the incoming electrophile, attack either ortho position or para position. Then we are getting, this is the product we are getting. This is the one product we are getting. This is another product we are getting. Among these two, which is a major product? That is the para position, which is a CLEZ. That is a major product. Okay, so this is another application for this same one. See, the same towelin I am taking. See, you can observe very carefully. The same towelin I am taking here. The same towelin I am taking. Yeah, same Cl2 I am taking, but I am changing the conditions here. We are going to change this condition what is there on the arrow. I am not taking the Lewis acid here. I am taking the sunlight, H mu, around the temperature. We have to maintain the temperature 383 Kelvin temperature. Sunlight you can maintain the temperature is 383 Kelvin temperature. Okay. So if you take the towelin and you take the Cl2, but here I am taking the FeCl3 is anhydrous FeCl3 is the Lewis acid is the catalyst, but here I am taking the what? Sunlight, and the temperature is nearly 383 Kelvin temperature. If you maintain this condition, what's here also attacking of halogen, not at aromatic ring. In this case, attacking of halogen, what we have generated the Cl plus electrophile is going to attack at earth or para position, means it's going to attack two where aromatic ring. But in this case, the halogen going to attack two side chain. This is an aromatic ring. No, this I can call as a side chain. This I can call as a what? Side chain. The Cl going to attack the side chain. This is a side chain. Here is removing of one hydrogen, there is attacking of one Cl, and remaining H and Cl is removing the form of what? This I can call as benzyl chloride. This I can call as the benzyl chloride. Means this position I can call as this is called as a side chain, and even this carbon I can call as a benzyl carbon. This carbon I can call we can call as benzyl carbon. This carbon we can call as a benzyl carbon. Now halogen going to attack at benzyl position. When if you maintain the sunlight and if you maintain the 383 Kelvin temperature, then we are getting the benzyl chloride as a major product. Okay, so this is a major application on this one. Now the last one is how we have prepared the iodobenzene. Suppose if I take the benzene here, this benzene can react with what? Iodine, that is called as I2, in the presence of what? FeCl3 or FeBr3. The presence of FeCl3 or FeBr3 around what we maintain the 313 Kelvin temperature. Sorry, you don't maintain this. I am very sorry about that. You don't maintain that catalyst. I am very sorry. You don't maintain that catalyst. So benzene can react with I2 in the presence of what? Very important another reagent. Either you can use a HiO3. HiO3 you can use, or you can use the what? HNO3, or you can use the what? Mercuric oxide, HZO. Okay, here you have to maintain the catalyst is HiO3, HNO3 and HZO. Then we are getting one of the product that is called as iodobenzene. We are getting one product that is iodobenzene. Okay, plus potassium iodide. This is a way of preparing the iodobenzene. Okay, it's not like how we have prepared the chlorobenzene, how we have prepared the bromobenzene. It is some different methods. We are using the catalysts either HiO3 or HNO3 or mercuric oxide. So what is the use of these reagents? This generally I can call as oxidizing agents. So what is the help of these oxidizing agents? In this reaction? So this reaction actually is a reversible reaction. You know what is a reversible reaction? The reactants are react to get products. Again, this product can react again with what? Reactant. Means this is a reversible reaction. To stop the reversible reaction, because we require iodobenzene. Our major aim in this method is we have to prepare the iodobenzene, right? But we have to prepare the iodobenzene. This is our major aim here. But after getting iodobenzene, this iodobenzene again react with potassium iodide, we get reactants. Means the yield of the product, that is called as iodobenzene, we may get very less. To increase that yield, to increase the maximum amount of iodobenzene, we should be stop the reversible reaction. How we can possible to stop the reversible reaction? By using Lee-Chatterjee principle. There is a one method. You can continuously remove the byproduct. Okay, if you have to remove the potassium iodide, then there is no chance to react this iodobenzene with potassium iodide, then we can't get any reversible reaction, right? Are you following? According to Lee-Chatterjee principle, if you remove this byproduct, this main product is not react with again byproduct, this potassium iodide, we can't get any reversible reaction. Further removing of potassium iodide, to stop that reversible reaction, we are using HiO3 or HNO3 or HGO. This is a major important thing. Okay, so this is the first method for preparation of which one? Halogenes, direct halogenation or side chain halogenation. Okay. Now there is another method that is called as very important reaction, Sandmeier's reaction. This is a very important question for examination. The name reactions, wherever the name reactions are come, this is very important. Sandmeier's reaction. What is the Sandmeier reaction? This is a scientist. Sandmeier is a scientist. Let us go to discuss that. Take NaNO2. This NaNO2 can react with HCl, can react with hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, concentrated hydrochloric acid. This can be removed in the form of like this. Na and HCl can remove. Then there is a formation of what? Our main product, this HNO2 can form HNO2 plus NaCl. This is the first step. The second step is take the aniline on benzene. If we keep the NH2 on benzene, if we keep the NH2, that we can call as a aniline. That we can call as a aniline. That we can call as a aniline. You take the aniline. This aniline can react with HNO2. What is the HNO2? And also it can react in the presence of what? HCl. And very important is ice cold temperature we have to maintain. What is the ice cold temperature? It is around 0 degrees centigrade. We have to maintain 0 degrees centigrade. It should be, this is a condition is very important. Without maintaining the 0 degrees centigrade, the reaction is not proceed. Okay? So this aniline can react with HNO2, what we get here, and HCl. This is a removing of this. I will follow clearly. This H2, this H, and this O2, and this H means how many hydrogens total? Tell me. 2 hydrogens, 3 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens. 4 hydrogens with 2 oxygens is removed in the form of what? 4 hydrogens, 2 oxygens is removed in the form of what? 2 moles of H2O. 2 moles of H2O. Then what is remaining? Benzene, NaCl. N2 plus Cl minus. This I can call as a benzene diazonium chloride, that BDC, benzene diazonium chloride. This is the first and second step. Even we have a third step in that. Third step I will write after that. Once again, listen here. NaNO2 can react with what HCl, and this Na and this Cl is removed in the form of what NaCl. We have remaining is HNO2. This HNO2 again plus HCl is react with aniline. This 2 hydrogen, this is 1 hydrogen, 3 hydrogen, this is 1 hydrogen, 4 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens, 2 oxygens is removed in the form of what? 2H2O. Then we have this nitrogen, this here. It's called as a N2 plus and Cl minus. This I can call as a benzene diazonium chloride. This is we required in this Sandwich reaction by using the benzene diazonium chloride. We are going to prepare chlorobenzene, bromobenzene and also iodobenzene, and very important, we are also going to prepare fluorobenzene. Fluorobenzene also. So let us start now how we are going to prepare chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, iodobenzene and fluorobenzene by using which one? Benzene diazonium chloride. Still third step it is. Only one reaction only. First step, second step, third step. Third step I am going to write now. Take benzene diazonium chloride. This is a benzene diazonium chloride. What is the benzene diazonium chloride? That is N2 plus and Cl minus. N2 plus and Cl minus. This is a benzene diazonium chloride. This benzene diazonium chloride can react with what? CuCl2 plus and HCl. CuCl2 and HCl and CuCl2 and HCl. If we react with this, then we are getting which one? CuCl2 or Cu2Cl2 also. If you use the CuCl2 or Cu2Cl2, then we are getting the chlorobenzene, and byproducts is nitrogen. Is evolving of what? Nitrogen gas. Suppose instead of Cu2Cl2, if we use Cu2Br2 and HCl, Cu2Br2 and HCl, you are getting bromobenzene. You are getting the what? Bromobenzene, and as well evolving of what? Nitrogen gas. As well evolving of nitrogen gas. But here you should be use here potassium iodide. Potassium iodide. If you use the potassium iodide, then only we are getting the iodobenzene plus the KCl is evolving of what? Nitrogen gas. Okay. Clear all of you. So this is a way of preparing the which one? Chlorobenzene, bromobenzene and iodobenzene by using benzene diazonium chloride. This benzene diazonium chloride can react with Cu2Cl2 and HCl, formation of chlorobenzene and evolving of nitrogen gas. Cu2Br2 in the presence of HCl, formation of bromobenzene and evolving of nitrogen gas. You use the potassium iodide, you will get the iodobenzene, and KCl and N2 is the what? Byproduct. Suppose if we use the HBF4, this H and this Cl is removed. There is a formation of one of the intermediate that is called as N2 plus and BF4 minus. N2 plus BF4 minus. This can heat strongly. Then we are getting the fluorobenzene plus evolving of BF3 and also evolving of what? Nitrogen gas. This is a way of getting the fluorobenzene. Means you have to take the HBF4 and this H and this Cl is removed in the form of what? Minus HCl, removed in the form of minus HCl. This N2 plus and this BF4 minus is reacted side by side. That's why it is called as transition state or intermediate. This you can heat very strongly. You are getting fluorobenzene and BF3 and nitrogen gas. This is a way of preparing the which one? Chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, iodobenzene and fluorobenzene by using benzene diazonium chloride. And how you are prepare the benzene diazonium chloride? Previously I explained. This entire reaction is called as a Sandmeyer's reaction. Very important for competitive exams. Now we are going to discuss how we are preparing the bromobenzene and iodobenzene and chlorobenzene by using Gattermann reaction. So Gattermann reaction, this is a Gattermann reaction. First is the previous one is the Sandmeyer reaction. This is a Gattermann reaction. Very simple. In Sandmeyer reaction also we are taking benzene diazonium chloride. Even in Gattermann reaction also we are taking the what benzene diazonium chloride. Take the benzene diazonium chloride. Take the benzene diazonium chloride, that is N2 plus and Cl minus. it can react with Cu. It can react with what? HCl. In the presence of what? Copper is a catalyst. It can react with what? HCl. Copper is a catalyst. If you use a Cu2Cl2 or Cu2Br2 is a catalyst, that is a Sandmeyer reaction. If you use only copper is a catalyst, it is become Gattelmann's reaction. Then you will get as usual chlorobenzene and the warming of nitrogen gas. Suppose instead of this, if you use the HBr in the presence of what? Copper, then we are getting the what? Bromobenzene and a warming of which gas? Is our nitrogen gas. So this is a Gattelmann reaction. Just catalyst is changed. Everything is similar like Sandmeyer's reaction, but there is a change of which one? Catalyst. Okay. So this is all methods of preparation of haloarenes. Okay. First one is a direct halogenation of aromatic ring. There are so many things we discussed, and in that only we have discussed side chain halogenation. In that only how we get the ortho and para products. So and we are continued with Sandmeyer's reaction. After that, there's a very similar reaction like Sandmeyer reaction, that is Gattelmann reaction. This is the three methods we are preparation of haloarenes. Very important. This is a complete thing about how we are prepare the haloalkanes and haloarenes. Now we are going to discuss. The very important thing is what is the chemical properties and what is the physical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Now, in final chapter we discussed, at last we discussed physical properties, and now we are going to discuss chemical properties. Before going to the chemical properties, all chemical properties of these haloalkanes and haloarenes depends upon the nature of CX bond. What is meaning of nature of CX bond? Nature of CX bond. This is I want to discuss now. What is meaning of CX bond? See, there is a R. It may be alkyl group. It may be alkyl group or it may be aryl group. Can react with what? Is bonded with what? X. Is bonded with what? X. The X may be Cl or Br or I. Okay. R can bonded with what? X. Halogen. You know already, R is the alkyl group. It is nothing but bonded with carbon. This is called as X. This is a halogen. Among carbon and a halogen, among the C and X, R is nothing but C. R is nothing but C mark. It may be aryl group or it may be alkyl group. So this bond is covalent one, but there is a partial negative charge is present on the halogen side and partial positive charge is present on carbon. Why? Because you know that the halogen is more electronegative elements in the periodic table. This halogen is more electronegative when compared to what? Carbon. Then this bond is called as shared pair of electrons. What the shared pair of electrons is there in between the carbon and the halogen? That going towards halogen side means the shared pair of electrons which are attracted by halogen atom. Why it is attracted by halogen atom? Because that halogen is more electronegative. That halogen is more electronegative when compared to what? Carbon. Then automatically there is a formation of partial positive charge here and there is a formation of partial negative charge. Due to the presence of partial positive charge, there is a nucleophile. What is meaning of nucleophile? Nucleophile is nothing but there is an excess of electrons. Where there is excess of electrons, that species I can call as a nucleophile. That nucleophile won't attack on this electron deficient carbon atom, and there is a removing of this. There is a breaking of the bond between the carbon and halogen. Means this type of reactions we can possible to see in these chemical properties. Can you tell me what is the name of this reaction? This is called as a nucleophile. Is go and substituted 2 electron deficient carbon atom by removing of which one? Halogen. By removing of that halogen. That's why instead of that halogen there is a substitution of what? Nucleophile. That's why these reactions I can call as a nucleophilic substitution reactions. So now there is a chemical properties is there, no? There is a chemical properties. There is a chemical properties of haloalkanes. There is a first reactions are nucleophilic substitution reaction, that is called as NSR reactions. What is the meaning of NSR reactions? Nucleophilic substitution reactions. Why nucleophile is attacked? Because this, due to the more electronegativity of this halogen atom, this carbon is playing electron deficient character. So wherever the nucleophile is there, the nucleophile go and attack this electron deficient carbon and the removing of the halogen. That's why it is called as nucleophilic substitution reactions are exhibited by these haloalkanes. And also elimination reactions also. Elimination reactions also exhibited by these haloalkanes. And third one is reaction with metals. Reaction with metals like more electropositive metals. Which is the more electropositive metals is like maybe sodium or magnesium, such type of metals. Okay, and next one, fourth one is what is this? Reaction with metals, nucleophilic substitution reactions, elimination reactions, reaction with metals, and there is some named reactions. Sorry, that we can call as reduction reactions. Instead of named reactions, I can call as a reduction reactions. Reduction reaction. This is the four chemical properties which are exhibited by haloalkanes and haloarenes. One is the nucleophilic substitution reactions, another one is the elimination reaction, next one is the reaction with metals, and next one is the what? A reduction with metals. Now first one we are going to discuss among that is nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, are you following up? So there are four chemical properties. So keep your mind, one by one we are going to discuss. I think this class we are going to discuss what is the introduction of nucleophilic substitution reactions. So the first chemical property we are going to discuss, that is called as nucleophilic substitution reactions. Nucleophilic substitution reactions. That I can call as NSR reactions. Nucleophilic substitution reactions, NSR reactions. So you know already what is the name of these reactions? Nucleophilic substitution reactions. You know what is meaning of nucleophile? The nucleophile substitution. The nucleophile is nothing but which species which is having more electron density. That is called as the nucleophile. What is meaning of substitution? One element or one group of elements are removing. That we can call as a leaving group. Suppose if I take Rx here. If I take Rx here, there is a nucleophile, that is a Nu. There is a nucleophile, a more electron deficient, it is a more electron density. These are partial postures. When nucleophile is come and attack, this I can call as a attacking nucleophile. This I can call as a what? Leaving group. This, then I get that RNU, and there is a meeting of what? X minus. This I can call as a leaving group. Why I can call as a leaving group? This is leave from this Rx with more electron density. That's why it is called as leaving group. Now this is called as attacking reagent. It is also called as nucleophile. So instead of the X, the nucleophile is attacked, substituted. That's why it is called as the nucleophilic substitution reaction. There is two types of nucleophilic substitution reactions. One is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions, and also called as bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. The first one among this is unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. That is called as SN1 reaction. SN1. SN1. And the second one is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. This I can call as SN2 reaction. So can you that one stands unimolecular and N stands for what? Nucleophilic. SU stands for what? Substitution. That is meaning of SN1, and these are here 2 is nothing but what? Bimolecular, N is nothing but nucleophilic, and S is nothing but what? Substitution. Now we are going to discuss detailed study about the which one? Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions and bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. First one I am going to discuss, that is called as SN1 reaction. SN1 reaction. SN1 reaction. What is meaning of SN1 reaction? Nucleophilic unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. Among so many alkyl halides we have, you can tell me what is the types of alkyl halide? Major types is primary alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, and tertiary alkyl halide. Among these alkyl halide, which alkyl halides are involved in unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions? See, that is tertiary alkyl halide. Can you, what is meaning of tertiary alkyl halide? CH3, CH3 and CH3. The halo chloride, chloride, you can also take bromide. This, if I take the reaction, if I take the reaction, first one, this is a tertiary alkyl halide. This is called as tertiary butyl chloride. This is a tertiary butyl chloride. Can react with what? NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. NaOH. Can react with sodium hydroxide. There is a Na and this here, and Na and this Cl is removed. Na and this Cl is removed. Is aqueous. Don't take is alcoholic. You can take either aqueous NaOH, or you can also take either aqueous KOH, and also in some textbooks they may also given that is called as H2O. Okay, so tertiary butyl chloride is nothing but tertiary alkyl halide. Tertiary alkyl halide can react with what? Aqueous sodium hydroxide. Aqueous sodium hydroxide. Removing of this Na, what Na and Cl is removing the form of what? NaCl. Then we are getting the very important product that is called, that is CH3, CH3 and CH3OH. What is the name of this? This name I can call as a tertiary butyl alcohol. Tertiary butyl alcohols. Tertiary butyl alcohol. Okay, so this is a reaction of which one? SN1 reaction. Tertiary butyl chloride can react with aqueous NaOH, formation of tertiary butyl alcohol and NaCl. Okay, so here there is a very important points we have to note down. What is the important points is, the first point here is, it is a unimolecular reaction and follow first order kinetics. First order kinetics. So there is, in this second PUC only we have chemical kinetics. In physical chemistry there is a chemical kinetics chapter. In that chemical kinetics chapter there is so many types of reactions is there, that is called as first order, zero order kinetics reaction, first order kinetic reaction, second order kinetic reactions, and higher order kinetic reactions. What is meaning of kinetics? Means there is means the kinetics is nothing but how much speed the reaction is going on. Means suppose this is a reaction is there, this is a reaction is there, how much speed the reaction is moved. Means that speed is depends upon the whom. Means that speed is also called in chemical kinetics. The speed is also called as rate. R-A-T-E, rate. Okay, you will discuss all the things in chemical kinetics. Little bit introduction I am giving now. All reactions according to the speed, there is a divided into so many types of reaction. That is a zero order kinetic reaction, first order kinetic reaction, second order kinetic reaction, like that. That we discuss in chemical kinetics. Now this reaction belongs to a first order kinetics. Why it is the first order kinetics? Because the speed of the reaction depends upon the only few factors. What is that factor? The speed depends upon, it's nothing but speed is also called as rate. The rate is directly proportional to, the rate is also called as speed. Keep your mind, the rate is also called as speed. What is meaning of speed? Either this reaction is completed in 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 second. Okay, this all are we can call as the speed. The rate of the reaction is directly proportional to a, there's a two things is there here. One is called as Na plus is there and this is OH minus. Here among Na plus and OH minus, which is a nucleophile? Which is a nucleophile? OH minus is a nucleophile. Na plus is not a nucleophile. OH minus is a what? Nucleophile. And this is a reactant. This is a reactant. This is entire is called as a reactant. This is called as nucleophile. This rate of the reaction is depends upon the only reactant. What is the reactant here? The reactant is tertiary butyl chloride. Means the rate of the reaction is directly proportional to this bracket is indicate the what? Concentration in chemical equilibrium. That's right. The rate of the reaction is directly proportional to concentration of the alkyl halide or concentration of the what? Reactant. Means if we increase the concentration, of the what? Alkyl halide, the speed of the reaction is also increases, or the rate of the reaction also increases. The speed of the reaction is not depends upon the what? Concentration of the what? Nucleophile. Means if you increase the concentration of OH minus or NaOH, there is no change of the speed of the reaction. Or if you decrease the concentration of the nucleophile, then also there is no change of the speed of the reaction. Why? Because the rate is not depends upon the concentration of the nucleophile. The rate is only depends upon the concentration of the what? Alkyl halide. There is a once previous year CET and some NEET level questions. One is what happened? The rate of the SN1 reaction, if you increase the concentration of the what? Concentration of the tertiary alkyl halide 2 times. Concentration of tertiary alkyl halide if you increase the 2 times, and concentration of the nucleophile also you increase the 2 times. Then what is the rate of the reaction? Is increased by only 2 times. Why is increased by only? Suppose see, if I increase the concentration of the nucleophile, this concentration of the alkyl halide 2 times, concentration of the NaOH is also 2 times. But the rate of the reaction only depends upon the concentration of the what? Alkyl halide. No, that's right. The rate of the reaction is increased by only 2 times only. Okay, and there is another type of question. Suppose if you increase the concentration of the nucleophile by 2, concentration of the alkyl halide by 2 times, if you decrease the which one? Concentration of NaOH by 2 times, then what about the rate of the reaction? It is increased by 2 times only. Why it is increased by 2 times? Why? Because the rate of the reaction is never depends upon the concentration of the what? NaOH. Either you can increase or you can decrease. There is no effect on that. Are you following? This is the type of questions they will ask in competitive exams. And there is some of the solvents we are used here. What type of solvent? What is meaning of solvent? What is meaning of solvent? This I can call as a reactant. This I can call as a product, isn't it? Now this reactant and this reactant both we have to take in one beaker. So both you want to react means both you have to take in one beaker. So this may be dissolved in somewhere. This may be dissolved in some other liquid. Both what we are taking the solvent should be able to dissolve this NaOH also and this tertiary alkyl chloride also. Means solvent which are used to take to proceed the reaction. To proceed the what? Reaction. We are taking like excess quantity that we can call as a what? Solvents. There are so many types of solvents is there in our chemistry, that is called as polar solvents is there and non-polar solvents is there. There are so many types of solvents. Solvents which is used to proceed the what? Reaction. Where we are taking the reaction mixture, that we can call as a solvent. That solvent should be in excess quantity. Okay, if you take the beaker, first we have to pour some solvent, and after that you can take the what? Reactant. The solvent should be in excess amount. Okay. So in our chemistry there is so many types of solvents is there. One is called as polar solvents, another one is the what? Non-polar solvents. Okay. Again polar solvents are 2 types: polar protic solvents, polar aprotic solvents. What is meaning of polar protic? What is meaning of polar solvents? What is meaning of non-polar solvents? What is meaning of polar protic solvents? What is meaning of polar aprotic solvents? What is the examples? Among these solvents, which solvents we are used in this SN1 reaction? That all these things and also what is the mechanism and what is the example. This all we discuss in next class. Are you understand which we are going to discuss in next class? What is the mechanism of SN1 reaction? That is one. And what type of solvents is there in our organic chemistry? Among that all solvents, which solvents we are taking in SN1 reaction, which solvents we are taking in SN2 reaction, that all we are going to discuss in next class. Thank you.